Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob the Knife Junkie DeMarco, and with me tonight will be Alex Tissot of Alex's Knifebox, and of course anyone else who decides to drop in. And I hope you do join the conversation. Comment with your opinions and questions, and remember that those comments and questions are what keep the show going, keep the conversation going. So be sure to do it. Jim will immortalize your brilliant thoughts in graphics and float them up on screen. So join in on the conversation. What do you say we get started? Now, right before we started, I was about to take a sip, and then I saw that we were going live, so I stopped. So water, I assure you, it is Lent. Okay, so first, I wanted to talk a little bit as we warm up and we come in and we wait for Alex to join us. I wanted to talk about the Chris drama. Now, the Cold Steel Voyager Chris drama continues. I thought it was over when Stu of Stone and Steel not finally, he hooked me up in my moment of need, and I received this Chris from him, and quickly slapped a Snaggletooth MF on it. I thought the whole thing was over, and then I forgot. I forgot about Knife Center, and they had told me when they said that the knife was late in coming, they said, we're going to cancel that order. And then when it comes in, you'll be the first one, and we'll just get the order going again, and we'll send it to you. And I don't know if that was willful. Excellent, Alex. Look forward to it. I don't know if that was willful forgetfulness. What's up, Therapeutic Edge? But another Cold Steel Chris came in. So I am going to return it, or if anyone wants to buy it for $117 plus shipping, I'd be happy to do that. But I think I'll be sending it back to Knife Center. And of course, the responsible thing to do is to take that as a refund back on the card. And that's what I will be doing. That's right. Am I not just showing my virtue? What's up, Spirited Whiskey? Good to have you here, sir. Good to have you here. I am excited to tell everyone lurking about Krav Maglock. Good to see you, sir. I'm excited to tell everybody about my twin purchase made recently, but it's less of a purchase, more of a keeping the knives in the family with Alex. He has a couple of things he's volunteered to let go for me, and I'm very excited to tell you about those in a little while. But before I do, I wanted to do a self pocket check. You know how Nothing Fancy or whomever will just call a gear check or a pocket check and just ask people to dump that. Okay, so I carried my Riot Crossroads today. Now this knife is this is one that I was kind of lusting after for quite a while. I love Kirby Lambert's designs, and I love this design in particular. I look at this, and all I really want to see is like mammoth ivory and some beautiful bolster and some sort of nice Damascus steel. This is like one of the few designs I could totally go Mr. Furley with and see all those different patterns. I love the design. The execution by Riot is spot on. It's guillotine-esque, and it's very thinly hollow ground. It's M390. It's titanium and G10. It's everything a man could want in a knife. But something's leaving me cold about it. Something is leaving me cold. Is it the gold hardware? I don't know. Is it the blue hardware? Maybe. But it's got to be more than that. And I think what it is I'm starting to tend away from flippers. Not so much so that I would delete the flipper on like a hinderer, but I'm veering away from flippers and almost even away from ball bearings at this point. And that's just a personal taste thing. It's not out of any sort of need or desire. Victor, nice to see you. Victor is a very big name in my family. Pocket check, Ferrum Forge, Mini Archbishop. Very nice. Very nice. We had those guys, the brothers Williamsons, on this show, and they were awesome. And they talked about designing the Archbishop, I believe. VDK Vice. What's the Vice? I know VDK knives, but the Vice, is that I'm thinking of the War Admiral. I keep thinking War Admiral. Delicious hot coffee. Yeah, that's anyway. So the Riot Crossroads. I got this from Epic Snuggle Bunny, and that's one of the, it's a silly kind of sentimental reason. It's one of the reasons I've held on to it. This might be next on the chopping block. I'm sure I could get a pretty penny for it, and have that go towards my Spartan Harzy that I want to have someday. Oh my gosh, James showing up with a Shiro F3R. Is that the brand new one? The brand new F3 that we were talking about a couple weeks ago? I'm not so well versed with the Shiros that I know specifics like that, but I do know that I can say that's a class way to show up, sir. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm tending towards the big overbuilt American tacticals these days. Resenti, small Nirvana. Paisan, Resenti. I love his knives. I love the lines. Of course, I've never had one, but I'm guessing, Spirited Whiskey, that it's pretty fantastic. Am I correct? I'm correct. Nope, I just checked that. F3 NS. That's it. That's the new one.
All right.
What's up, Alex? How you doing?
I was having some technical difficulties with something, but I made it.
Excellent. Great to have you, sir.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
So we were all just pocket checking. Let's start with C and end with a 6. CQC6. Thank you, Edwin, for just smashing my face in how awesome your collection is. You are indeed correct, Bob. Well, I am glad. I think that is a sweet. Wait, was that Slicey Dicey I saw? I think it was. If indeed that is you, Brian, good to have you. If indeed that is an old one from last week, well, it was good to have you. Alex, how you doing, sir? I was just talking about my Riot Crossroads and how it's a mixed bag of emotions for me because I love Kirby Lambert so much, but the knife itself, even though it's awesome, beautifully executed, is leaving me cold.
Why, man? Tell me more.
I think it's the no soul thing. Hey, Slicey.
Hey,
Brian.
Slicey.
Great to have you, sir. We're talking soul and knives, and I know that's a well, some people might not attribute like, for instance, this knife. This is a Bestech. To me, this has soul because I have a personal connection to the person / people who designed it. So now this means
Correct.
something to me. The personal connection I have to this is that I bought it from Epic Snuggle Bunny, who was a guest on the show. And to me, that's a cool enough reminder of that experience. But in another way, it could also be cool to have $300 instead of this to put towards something I want to carry more.
I can see your evolution. You're going up and up and up and up and up.
Well,
yeah.
Well, sir.
Yes.
It's not. Sometimes knives just don't work for us. Knives are personal. It happens. That is true. That is true. That is true. It's like you can't be everybody's friend. It's the same thing. Not every knife is. What were you carrying today?
You know what I was carrying today.
I know. Yeah, I'm being coy. Show off that Microtech.
All right. So this I got from a Cuminous Edge on Instagram, who happens to be my boss. I made him buy this one like 6 months ago. I'm like, dude, you got to have that. If you love SOCOMs, this is the one to buy. So, of course, it's got that beautiful mirror with the compound grind. That's freaking awesome.
Gorgeous.
But it's also got the Mokime inlays.
Oh, that is so cool.
And the even cooler part is the serial number is 007.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So did you did you advise him to buy that knowing that it would eventually come your way, or did you think he'd hold on to that?
I thought he would hold on to this, and he's got, I mean, like 30 SOCOMs, and probably 20 of them are customs.
Jeez, oh man.
This one right here was the one I'm like, man, dude, that is the ticket. And when he bought this one, he was kind of like still learning about stuff. So when he saw Mokime, he's like, what do you mean Mokime? What the hell is that? So I told him what it was.
What the hell is it?
So Mokime is pretty much like Damascus, but usually they can mix it with different metals, like gold. Usually it's like kind of that goldish bronze stuff. This one, I believe, is silver, nickel, and copper is what this one is. And it patinas over time, just like, other stuff.
Oh, wow. So because that has the copper and the copper and the bronze, oh my God, look at that thing. So
man, I love this.
That's the clip point with the man.
The compound.
So when you hold it up so we can see the whole thing. See, now this to me is a classy and well-stated use of that busy material, Mokime.
Yes.
I'm calling it visually busy. When you see that next to another pattern material, next to a pattern Damascus material, to me, it kind of diffuses everything. It turns,
absolutely.
It's a little bit of white noise, whereas you see it there, it's a splash. I love Miles Davis, trumpet player, and he had a famous thing where he said, it's the notes I don't play that matter. It's kind of the same thing with that. It's like keeping it, understated. It's like the rich guy who doesn't show up in a gold-plated Lamborghini.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think actually that was a perfect reference to it. And sometimes there's a lot of knives out there. It's too much, and you'll have a mixture of Damascus with Damasteel, and then you'll have other freaking materials. And I like some of those busy knives. I'll be the first to admit, in some of my taste, I like over busy stuff at times. But I agree with you. Like, this one was executed perfectly. It's a nice clean blade.
Yeah.
And then you have, the little pocket jewelry portion on the business end. So it's just a really nice knife. I used to have a prototype, Marfione custom, that was more stonewash and basic. Mm-hmm. And I sold it to actually the guy who sold me this one. And I was sad after I got rid of it. I'm like, like the SOCOMs, there's just something about it. And when I posted this one, I got all these like, oh, it's too bad it's not tip-up carry. But this knife, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, it's usable on that in the military.
Absolutely.
The Spider go now. Hang on one second with that. Two things about that knife that I love, or one design aspect about the SOCOM that I love. Can you hold yours up, because mine's over in my cabinet?
Sure.
And mine looks nothing like that, so I want to look at it. Is the thumb ramp that goes up, and then the part of the blade, the opposite thumb ramp that comes up to meet it. No. Where your thumb? Yeah, right there. That I love having my thumb right there, kind of pulling back.
Right.
And then where your forefinger is kind of pushes forward on that jimping. It's such a nice locked in position. But I love that forward bit of jimping on the blade there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's very utilitarian. I mean, it's a knife you can, if it wasn't so damn pretty, I'd use the hell out of it.
Well, I was going to say, what did you carry today that you planned to use if an actual cutting chore came up?
So I figured we're going to do a little show and tell. So I actually brought it.
Oh, nice.
So this is what I carried today. It's illegal in my state, but I put a clip slip on it.
Which makes it no less illegal.
Correct. But it makes it so that I can carry it because it doesn't have a pocket clip.
Oh, dude, that is beautiful. That's a BRS, right?
That is a BRS. And it's actually a really special one, too.
How's that?
So this one is channel construction. So this
Integral.
is they call it channel on these. So they actually nicknamed these the CHAB, the Channel Alpha Beast is what it's called.
That's
so
awesome. How big is that? A 4.5-inch blade?
I'm gonna say it's probably about 4-inch is what I'm going to say it is.
That is sweet. I love that color too.
Yeah, I went nuts for this. So I've been actually on BRS's website thinking that one of these days I'm going to buy like a nice Alpha Beast from them whenever I can find a drop. And I've been trying to do that for probably 3 years now. And every time they do the drop, I always miss it. But this time, when I emailed them, I was just like giving them some delivery instructions for it. And they said, "Oh yeah, you were the first one to grab one." I was like,
"Oh yes. Man!" So I did not know that you had a Bally streak in you.
Oh yeah, man. If you remember our interview when you said Otto or Bally song,
yes.
Remember what I picked?
That's right, man. So I almost So I got I have a return to Knife Center. They sent me a Chris after I thought I had canceled it, and my thought did go to it's the exact same amount as the new Kershaw.
The butterfly knife. What is it, the Luchin or something like that?
Yeah, the Luce, I think it is.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's worth a look, man. I just have, my nicest ballet song is a Bear and Sons. You know what I mean? I just have like martial arts stores, ballet songs, just, rickety. Yeah, I mean, they've lasted me 25 years, but they're kind of, I don't have any nice ones.
You got to, man.
And
you got to get one.
The thing, yes, I will. Now I will. The thing that actually turned me off was that it doesn't have a pocket clip. I'm like, I want to carry this thing. Yes. Well, April, sir. Well, it's not April yet. I'm a seasonal beard man, and it starts getting warm, and I gotta do it.
You gotta free it.
Yeah, and then I surprise my ladies with it, and it's always a little bit of a shocker. But they always tell me how young I look comparatively, which is nice. I'm not wearing the big white beard anymore. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of things here. First of all, the Iowa Outdoor Classic in Europe. That's their big, giant outdoor event. Last time we were on the show, I mentioned that they were canceled. Well, they have been now rescheduled for September 3rd through 6th, 2020. And from now on, through the rest of time, they're going to be a September show from now on, but they'll still be at the exhibition center in Nuremberg, Germany. So I thought that was something I might want to follow up on. Don't want to tell everyone that it's canceled and then not have it actually be canceled. That's something I want to talk about a little bit later with Blade Show, because I'm a little nervous, it being my first Blade Show. But also we talked about Bone Daddy Blade Works on the supplemental show a couple of weeks ago. It's a small outfit. They've got this really cool product. It's
Steve. What up,
Steve? How you doing, man? This is my spy look. So this company, hey Thomas, good to have you, sir. This company is making this fixed blade that also that you can use in a bunch of different handholds, but also fastens nicely to any sort of random piece of wood out in the woods, and you can turn it into an axe pretty effectively. And we were just sort of talking about their product. It's called the Axix, and since then, that they gave me an update. They've reached their earning goals. What do you call it?
The Kickstart thing.
Yes, exactly. They're sourcing their God Almighty, their crowdsourcing goals actually by 106%. So they're jamming. They still have 16 days left, so you can still get one of those Bone Daddy Blade Works Axix knife/axe tools. Looks pretty cool. Sean Hoyman and company. So there you go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I heard your show on that. I was actually that's pretty fascinating. That whole product idea. I like it.
Yeah, me too. It seems like a real timeless idea. It's like when the first bits of flint were being napped, they probably weren't thinking this is going to be a knife. No, this is going to be an axe. It was a tool, it was a sharp implement that could be attached to various things, whether it's just handheld for skinning or, tied to a branch that you could use as an axe.
Yep, exactly.
So also a follow-up on something we talked about, Emerson Knives just recently announced that they're making a folding version of the Ed Calderon Elvia. Ed Calderon is a former counter-narco agent in Mexico. He's got a pretty famous blog called Ed's Manifesto, where he shows different stuff going on at the border and down below the border, and he also talks about different ways of surviving, kidnapping, that kind of thing. Very interesting stuff. Well, he carries as his ultimate backup a little knife that his mom used to have. And she actually did everything with it, from kitchen chores to utility around the house to actually saving the family from a street tough using that knife. So he always carried it, and he's had this knife produced by Emerson, and now Copus Blade Works. Copus Blade Works, run by John Balatsis. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but he's a kind of a protege of Matt Martin of Vehement Knives, and a great knife maker in his own right. I love especially his little sax knives. They're really cool. Anyway, he's doing a mid-tech version of the Ed Calderon Elvia, which looks like a paring knife. It looks like the kind of knife you hold in your hand, edge in, and peel a piece of fruit with. Well, it also works well, at
self-defense.
Yeah, piercing leather jackets and flesh and stuff. So this looks cool. It's a 154 cm, 2.5 inches long, and it's super slim, and it's got GRN handles. It's pretty simple.
I actually love the way that thing looks.
Yeah, and it looks like you could really stash it pretty easily.
Now, the folding version was the one I always said, because the Elvia has been out for quite a while. There's a custom version that's been out, like I saw, I think last year or the year before. I can't remember exactly. And then there was another gentleman from another country that was doing like some really cool engraving work on some of them. Mm-hmm. And they were like somewhere around, like, I think like for the non-engraved ones, they were like somewhere around $1,200 or $1,300. But I always called it the broken stop pin knife, is what it looked like to me.
Yeah, right.
So
you mentioned that. Cool. You mentioned that last week or a couple of weeks ago when we were looking at the Emerson.
Yeah, but it is a cool concept. I really appreciate it. I'm not trying to knock it. It is like kind of a unique, all of its own thing. It's kind of cool that Emerson decided to pick it up.
Oh, yeah.
I think it'll sell well.
Yeah, well, Edwin already got on the hook for one, and it is the perfect that's the perfect setup for exactly, classic paring knife. That's what it was. Just a little bit of more of a bend in it, at least, than the ones I had. Can you put up two comments back, Jim? Edwin's thing. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Ed Calderon used to carry an Emerson Persian. Awesome. That is such a cool knife. I know, I'm sure you have one, Edwin, but they are hard to come by. And I missed a small window years ago. Thought they were kind of just always going to be stocked like an Endura or something like that. And I always loved those. And I love that they're waveless for looks, but I always thought, I think that's a little bit over 4 inches, it should have a wave. Michael Green, I have a knife very similar to that, designed by the Knife Junkie. Hey, Mike, good to have you, sir. I made Mike one of my first knives he's got, and it's a little Warncliffe. It looks just like a Copus Blades knife, actually. I think I may have been ripping them off when I made that. But yeah, good to have you, sir. He was carrying a cool Microtech today. What is it? The Ultratech.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that Elvia, I definitely would like to get my hands on. I think it's cool that they're doing a mid-tech run, but it's not, or did they rip you off? I think it's cool to do like a mid-tech run, but it's not like some fancy mid-tech. It's not a designer trying to leverage one of their more expensive designs and make more money out of it. They're actually doing it on the cheap in a way. So yeah, I think it's a cool way of doing it. So a Copus clone. Yeah, basically. Jeez, oh Pete, I know, you know what I mean?
It's a party in here, man.
You can get granular with it. So anything new coming for you? I know there are two things coming for me.
Yes. Well, I actually brought a couple that I just got. I just got this Emerson right here. And this is let me show you. This is actually like a nice little special run by Emerson Knives. This one's the XHD edition, the HMMV-K. Look at the blade stock on this thing.
Yeah, damn, man. What is that? Is that 3.6? What is that?
It's huge. I haven't measured it yet because I will when I review it. But I mean, look at the handle. Yeah, it's just this massive thing. So this is like my go-to war knife.
Dude, I love the backspacer.
Yeah, the backspacer is freaking awesome. And then it's actually got a lock bar insert, but it's anodized kind of like a copper or bronze color. So I'm wondering if it's a titanium piece or what it is. I'm not quite sure.
I've never seen.
Maybe someone who's an Emerson expert here can fill us in on that.
So, Victor, almost all Emersons have chisel grinds at the very edge, but most blades, yeah, Victor, not at all. Yeah, listen to Edwin; he knows his deal. No, most of them, at least the ones I have, are V ground all the way to the edge, and then they're chisel ground. But there are a number of them that are exclusively chisel, like the P-Sark, for instance, extra heavy duty.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
I love that.
And you know what else is pretty interesting about this knife compared to other Emersons that I've owned?
What's that?
Here, let me hold it up.
Oh, jeez.
It is freaking crazy action.
Fall shutty.
It's super fall shutty.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's nuts. Super thick, and you got this big old pommel in the back right here.
Jeez. Is that the clip that came with it?
Yep, that's the clip that came with it.
I don't care for the branding on it, gotta say.
Yeah,
I mean, if you have to have branding on it, it's pretty nice, I guess. But so this knife is basically the Kershaw CQCK8, I think it was.
It's similar. It's actually almost like a bulldog, is what it is.
But I mean, the handle looks just like there was one CQ, one of the Kershaw Emersons, for $28 that didn't do very well, but it has that same handle shape. So what I'm telling you, Alex, is that you could have gotten that for $28. Did you pay $28 for that?
I paid after tax.
I am just kidding. You need not tell us what you paid. I was just being a smart ass.
Well, everybody's gonna know. I mean,
yeah,
the price is listed. I think these were sold out in the day. So
I wonder if Edwin got one. Did you get one of those, Edwin?
Most likely.
I'm sure he's probably on the list.
And Bob knows. I got the email blast. Damn, I shouldn't be saying this. But I drove down there and picked it up. But these are usually online only. I brought another knife for warranty. So they were nice and gracious and let me have it. Yeah, it is super thick, Scott. And that's what I liked about it. It's freaking, as a matter of fact, I couldn't stop there, guys. Okay. I got this itch to get these ultra thick knives. So then I got this one. And this is a little bit less thick, but it is still incredibly nuts.
Jesus.
Blade stock.
Excuse my French, but look at that blade.
Yep.
What is that? How thick is that?
It's I think it's as thick as the Emerson.
That is ridiculous.
No, it's thicker than the Emerson.
Thicker. Right on.
So this is actually this is called it's from a veteran. Red Blade Works is what the company name is.
I have just recently been seeing these.
Yeah, this is called the Pig. And it was named after his faithful dog. The dog was called Pig, and who passed away, and he was very, very fond of the dog. But it's supposed to be reliable and like your best friend, like a dog or something like that. So you can see
well said, sir.
Yep. So you could see that it's super thick, but then it gets ground super thin.
Is that hollow or flat? I can't tell.
It is
hollow.
It's hard to tell. Maybe flat, but you can see how deep the plunge grind goes.
Yeah, man.
It comes super thin. So it actually cuts. And I got to tell you, it's actually one of the most ergonomic knives that I've handled in a long time. And I think the reason for that is because of the thickness of it. It feels freaking incredible in the hand. So this was a really good purchase. And I actually bought this from Blue Line. It's interesting because I ordered this particular knife, but it ended up being a prototype. So I got a prototype. Wow. So pretty cool.
So what is Blue Line? I'm unfamiliar with them. Is that just an online purveyor?
Yeah, it's an online store. I think it's like geared towards like police departments and stuff like that. Right. They sell like knives, a lot of Strider stuff. I think they sell gun gear too and stuff like that.
Strider stuff. So anything else new for you or on the way?
Oh, I brought a couple more for show and tell.
Oh, yes.
So this one right here.
Oh, my God.
It's a cold steel, Bob. Come on.
Yes. That's the deactivated cold steel paradox.
The paradox.
It's like the paradox is it's a butterfly knife that does not behave like one until you take it apart and remove some pieces, right?
So all you have to do is the top here has like the parts, the little cams for the back spring to lock onto. So it's a simple design, but I grinded it out and yeah, it's a full functioning butterfly knife.
What is that, 5-inch blade?
I don't know, man. It's big is what it is.
That is pretty sweet. It's like the that new Gerber machete.
Yeah. Yeah, it's massive. I've had this for years.
That is a nice blade shape, man. That looks like a barong.
Yep. And then the last one I have for show and tell.
Oh, yes.
It's Bob's new knife, guys.
Yes.
So this is the Emerson Iron Dragon, and I'll let Bob tell you more about it because I know he's probably been researching the shit out of this knife.
I do know that Iron Dragon is a reference to Richard Bustillo,
That's correct.
One of his JKD and Kali teachers when he was at the Filipino Kali Academy under the tutelage of Danilo Santo and Richard Bustillo. So I mean I am so excited to get this because when it came out, I was excited by its titanium frame lockness, and that blade is just so beautiful. I'm a recurve sucker. I'm a Bowie sucker. That's a recurve Bowie. Emerson, on bearings.
Nice solid lockup.
Thank you, sir. I take that as a personal compliment. Yes. So Edwin, do you have one? I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone with everything Emerson. Edie Singabally.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So now you guys know, like, I always have like at least a little bit of bling on my knives. So there's a precision graze zirconium thumb disc on this one. I'm going to leave it for Bob.
Thank you. That thing
Yeah.
is sweet. That is really sweet.
Yeah, it was super nice. Yeah, and it gives you like more purchase on the knife, so deployment's freaking easy on this thing.
So has anyone seen Alex's latest video of his slim MIDI Medford? It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It's got that nice blue handle. Yeah, that recurve is so nice. Well, that is also mine now.
Mhm.
Mine, all mine. Well, as of Saturday, it should be arriving. But that is my first Medford, and I'm really looking forward to it. Never even held a Medford. There's so many knives I haven't experienced, and so it's, you know, I'm glad you were looking to get rid of that right at the time I was looking to pick one up, and that's gonna work out beautifully.
I think that thing is awesome, Spirited Whiskey. Ryan, Spirited Whiskey's got a Tom Mayo. Ryan's been buying a crap load of stuff. He must be selling a lot of freaking whiskey, I'll tell you that. So,
well, never any shortage of people who like whiskey.
Yeah, that's for sure. The slim is relatively the term applied to a Medford. So if you watch my video on the slim MIDI, I measured the thickness of that knife at the thickest point on the handle. It was 0.38 inches thick.
Wow.
That is super slim.
Yeah.
Super, super slim. And that's one of the things I love about that knife. After I acquire what I'm saving up for, who knows, I'll probably buy another one. Yeah, it's awesome.
It like you said in your video, it benefits from the width, the wideness of the handle.
Right.
This of course is not it, but the wideness of it makes it more fulsome in the hand.
Right. So and it in the pocket, it's freaking awesome. I think, as I said in my review, I think the slim MIDI is probably the knife that, if you're looking to get into Medford knives, I think that's the best way to like get into them, because some of those other ones are big bricks and people get excited because Praetorian, it's like the knife to have from him. But I actually think the Marauder is a even cooler model.
The Marauder is cool, and was it the Viper?
Oh yeah, I remember the Viper.
The big flipper,
yeah.
Big Warncliffe flipper.
Yeah.
Flipper, non-flipper, flipper.
Yeah.
Those things are what are getting me excited these days. The big overbuilt. I'm coming back to my roots. I have speaking of big and overbuilt, I have my Greg Lightfoot custom out tonight. I was just examining it before, and man, this thing is so sweet. And he's been posting a lot of things recently that, I mean, they're way, way out of my price range, but damn, are they gorgeous. His design sense really resonates with me, and the thick chunkiness of his knives resonates with me. Though I do have to say, to be totally honest, I don't carry it much, but part of that is because I'm a little squeamish about, messing up the clip. Or I know you say carry it and they love to refurbish their old stuff, but
they will, man. A lot of custom knife makers love hearing like, oh yeah, I wore this thing in and I put scratches on it. I need you to clean it up. They love hearing that you carry their knife.
Yeah, I would too, for sure. Yeah.
So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like when you're dealing with something like this, with like a company like, and don't get me wrong, Microtech's warranty is amazing. Like they've done some incredible warranty work for me and for Mark, my coworker. They're really good about it, but it's not as personal because they're whoring, tons of knives out.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're doing warranty work, it takes away from their manufacturing work. So it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
When these guys, like somebody like Greg Lightfoot, who's a custom knife maker, he puts a little bit more soul and love into probably each and every one of his knives, are kind of a unique one of a kind in their own way. So when he gets the knife back, it's been loved, it's been used, I'm sure it's more of a warm feeling for him to clean it up and fix it up for you,
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it. Like I had anything to do with it, except I said, I like that. Can I have it? But yeah, and then you look, I'm looking at my Microtech, my Ultratech, such a great knife. But the serial number on this is 83,985. So, you know, each one of them seems to be pretty damn awesome.
Yep.
But the personal attention of a singular maker can't be trumped. I have one Medford the USMC fixed blade. I love that knife. Marauder is okay. Okay. Do you have a collection? Bob, do you know Sifu Larry Rice? He teaches film in Russia, JKD in Western North Carolina. No, I think I know the name though. Larry Rice. I think I've heard that name before, but I could be conflating that with Larry Hartzell, I think. But I would say definitely go check out if you're interested at all. Go check it out. You know, even you know, you'll know pretty quickly if you're in the presence of a charlatan. Can you put that last one back up, please, Victor Hernandez?
I would be curious how.
Yeah.
I would be curious why you think that Microtech and a Rockstead are similar. Not that I disagree. I just am curious.
Well, that polish on the blade is the first thing that comes to my mind, and then with a grind, you know.
Right.
Did you guys see the new SBD Void XL version posted on IG the last couple of days? Nice.
Yeah, he's posted a few of them.
Oh,
Brian.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. They're good looking knives, man. He's going to be moving on to a new model, I think, supposedly after Blade. So I think after Blade, the XLs are going to be done. Brian was saying he was just kind of buying time. Oh, just the polish and the grind. Yeah. Yep, I agree. They do great mirrors, but I'm going to say Rockstead still has an edge on that mirror polish over anything else I've ever owned. And they do the best DLC polish I've ever seen.
It's like mirror black.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's flawless. Olamic, believe it or not, does a phenomenal mirror polish as well.
They have some cool knives. Olamic. I had Eugene, right?
Yep.
I had Eugene, a conversation with him about trying to get him on the show, and then it went cold. And you know, I know they're super busy. That's what happens, you know. Especially you're going from one season to another. You're going to amping up for Blade Show or Shot Show to amping up for Blade Show, you know.
Yep.
And everything in between. I get it, but I'm very much look forward to speaking to him. I don't love all of their designs. I love their big ones.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about the busker and the, but anyway, yeah, they have a unique design, unique aesthetic. One of the best mirror blades in the business. Yep. Oh, so something funny happened the other night. I want to briefly talk about Blade Show and all of that, but before I go over there, something funny happened the other night. I was interviewing, you know, Rob Bixby, the Apostle P.
Oh yes.
I love him. I've been a fan of his videos for a long time, and he sometimes says polarizing things, and that I like that. He's like, you know, so what was it? So he totally called me out on my use of $4 words. I called myself an aesthete, and he's like, "Oh, an aesthete, huh?" He's like, "You know, there might be people from the Midwest listening right now, and maybe they don't." And I was like, "Look, man, if they ever watch knife videos, they know the word aesthetics, and if they've ever heard the word athlete, they know what I'm saying."
Yeah, I agree.
But
sounds like Rob.
Yeah, he was just busting my chops. It was good natured, but it took me off guard.
Yep.
Yes.
I can't wait to listen to that one because years ago I used to watch.
Thanks, Jim.
I used to watch a lot of his sharpening videos and stuff, and you know, I know he kind of got it. So the whole HRC police that came from him. he was the one that named him the police.
Oh,
So
well,
I know like there's like a little bit of tension, or there was at that time.
Yeah.
But but at the same time, I can't deny that he was a big part of this like YouTube knife community thing, and his sales of knives, that he does is pretty cool.
Unbelievable. I like to just tune in and watch them and just watch him show off the knives. I dig him. I like people, like Super Steel Steve. He can be a polarizing figure, but to me, that's what's interesting, because, it's kind of like when you look at a painting or something. If you walk away and you don't feel anything, it's way worse than walking away thinking, God, I hate that painting, or I love that painting or whatever. If you don't feel anything from it. So yeah, I like characters like that. And Rob is a good one. He'll be a couple of weeks after the Emerson interview.
Very cool.
I like his traditional knife videos too. That's how I discovered him, actually. The GEC stuff, when I started to get into that. You mentioned Blade Show earlier, and I'm on tenterhooks, and maybe people don't know what that means, so let me explain. Tenterhooks means I'm on edge. I don't know, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, and it's my first year going down to Atlanta for Blade Show. Actually, it's going to be my first time in the state of Georgia, and I'm looking forward to it. But I am quite concerned about whether they're going to shut stuff down, and whether it's responsible or not to go into a big crowd right now, and all that stuff. And I really, man, I'm so keyed up for it. I don't want to. I have to talk myself down so I'm not too disappointed if this thing gets canceled. But what are your thoughts?
Well, there's a few ways to look at it. First one being is that maybe this year, you'll have a chance of buying the customs without running to the booth, because it'll probably be half empty.
Oh yeah.
So this was supposed to be my first Blade Show too, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't need to spend any money because my best friend lives in Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
So I was just going to go to his house, take an Uber to Blade Show, and back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
So that was the idea. But with this thing going on, like I have a suspicion it is going to be canceled. I saw one of my friends today sent me a post that they had actually said they're not canceling, but we'll see what they say in a month from now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You just never know. They may actually not even have a choice.
That's what I was thinking. They might not have a choice.
So
yeah. That's what I was looking at the other day. Blade Show will take place as scheduled.
Yeah, but they may not have a choice. And I heard another rumor about a national shutdown possibly happening. I heard that rumor at work today. So that in a couple weeks they're going to announce that they're going to shut the whole country down. If you're like in the customer service realm or anything like that, you're supposed to shut down, I think, only like hospitals, and that's pretty much about it. I don't know if that's true. Everybody's got a doomsday prophecy.
Yeah. I'm gonna therapeutic edge says I'm gonna say no. Let's see what happens before we kill something that's 3 months out. I agree with that. Except I've been listening to a lot of podcasts on the subject, and now I'm not so sure. I think it's way too early to cancel. It's also way too early to tell people it was happening.
That it's happening. That's what I think it means. So like it's wish-washy, you just don't know, right?
Yeah. It's not until June. Yes. And that is 3 months. It's a huge mistake to have large gatherings to access cesspools for transmission of contagion. That's the way I'm leaning, actually.
I'm kind of leaning that way too.
Come on, let's see what the next couple. Well, yeah, there is that. But I do a lot of production for work, and my thoughts run to the practical, which is and also, I mean, I guess knife makers have to be thinking about this too. This has got to be extremely stressful for knife makers right now. Yeah,
dude, for everybody. I think the whole country is going to feel the economic hit from this. Even me, for example, like my typical. So I live in Los Angeles, which is like a really crowded area, lots of people, tons of traffic. My average commute to work, which is like, I want to say I'm 23 miles away from work. In the morning, I'm typically driving about an hour and 10 minutes. And then on the way home, it could be an hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes. This morning, I got to work in 30 minutes. There was nobody on the road.
Yeah, I know.
I went to the post office to ship out your knife today.
I love that.
There was nobody in line. I drove home. My car didn't stop once for traffic. We just all flew. Like I was literally going like 60 to 70 miles an hour the whole way home.
A little eerie. I noted that on the way home too with my girls. I was like, what do you notice? And they're like, there's no one on the road. I was like, yeah, because usually on this stretch of road, I'm swearing, and not swearing, but cussing and fussing about the jerk in front of me, and it's smooth sailing.
Yeah. Little eerie, like the start of a scary movie.
Yeah. Cancel the NBA. That's fine. Cancel a show, Blade show, and piss off people who carry 2 or 3 knives. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, I figure, like for me personally,
right. Oh my God. Yeah.
For me personally, I mean, I got tons of knives. I could just buy them online. I would love to go to Blade Show. This was actually supposed to be like, I was excited about meeting up with you and like a bunch of my friends and Super Steel Steve. But in all honesty, there's always next year for me.
Yeah. I mean, for me, that was the main thing. I've talked to so many new people over the last year. I was really excited or I am really excited to meet them in person. Hopefully, still be doing that this year. I'm 60, I have cardiovascular disease, and open heart surgery. Mom is 80. What are our chances?
Well, I'm no doctor, man.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, I used to be a nurse. So I'll tell you this. The COVID-19 virus, from what I understand, is basically, from some people I saw interviewed, you feel like you have a cold and then you get better and then all of a sudden you have pneumonia. So pneumonia is the worst part of this whole disease. And as you know, people who have pneumonia always go to the hospital as a precaution, and some people die from it. The problem is now with this thing, there is more people getting pneumonia. So more people have to be treated, and the rate of transmission of this thing is incredibly fast. I mean, it's spreading like wildfire. So I guess that's the only scary part. Obviously, people who are elderly, like my grandmother's in the nursing home right now recovering. And, so obviously like in a more crowded environment with a lot of weak immune system around, it's probably a little bit more scary for them. For elderlies, they're already advising, stay home, don't go out if you don't have to. If somebody else can make the grocery runs, that's probably a good thing to do. But for us healthy adults, it shouldn't be much of a problem. I don't think 60 years old qualifies as elderly anyways, so I won't worry too much. And cardiovascular disease is something, but it's not a respiratory illness. So you'll probably be all right just from my opinion.
So someone who commented before, Michael Green, I bumped into him today, and he was just at the grocery store doing his weekly grocery shopping, and he said these are my words. He said it looked like a Cold War Polish grocery store, like everything was empty, and people were squabbling, and and then he showed me his Microtech, and I was like, okay, I think you're fine. You're all right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that probably be the
Agreed.
best advice. Just do what you got to do. Otherwise, try to keep out away from public.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were going to New York this weekend. We were going to have a family trip, and we were going to see a Broadway show and do all this stuff with the kids. And luckily, we talked about it and canceled in time. So
yeah.
Speaking of New York, that knife show, that custom knife show, is awesome. It has I haven't been there. I've been there twice, and it was like 15 to 20 years ago, but it was still amazing. Anyone still buying knives, or everyone freaking out over virus? I'm buying here. This is the justification. If you need one for the significant other in your life, why are you buying so many knives? We need to be getting other things. You could ask, what has better barter potential in the calamitous dystopian future than a knife? But you might do what I did and buy like a giant box full of cheap $1 knives at Walmart, and those go first, and then you can start tucking into the good knives. Justification, it's leap year.
Yeah.
That is the best justification.
I love that.
That out. Well, anyway, I was just interested to see what people were thinking, because you look at the Blade website, and it seems, it's like kind of big letters and asterisks, like this is happening. And I totally get that from a production standpoint. It's like, no, the show must go on, the show must go on. But
right.
At the same time, these details are, circumstances are different. I'm sure the complexion of things will change. Hopefully it's for the better.
I mean, who knows? It could all work out, and they could have something figured out. But I have, a 3-year-old daughter, so exactly. I can't be thinking irresponsibly. Even if it's a small chance, if there's a chance that I don't need to take, then I'm not going to take it.
Yeah. And by the way, it's not just elderly and sick people. There are other cases of people kind of like of my demographic, men of a certain age, if you will. So anyway, I want to wrap up tonight with a knife fight that I think you're going to like. It's Medford versus TRM, Three Rivers Manufacturing. We'll say the Praetorian versus the Atom.
Okay. I own both of them, so
okay, and I neither. So, but I kind of have an idea of what the stats are. Hey, what's up, man? Welcome. Late to the show, was too busy listening to the podcast. Hey, man, I love it. That's the perfect excuse. Thank you. I guess I've already announced it. So this coming Sunday will be Ernest Emerson. It was an awesome conversation. So excited. He was such a cool guy, man. That's someone after meeting, you're like, man, I just want to hang out with this person. Such a cool dude. A lot of great stories and just great energy. So which would you like to defend? Would it be the Praetorian or would it be the Atom?
God, I don't know, man. You pick.
All right. Well, maybe in the next minute, someone could tell us who defends what.
Who's got the Medford, guys?
Yeah. So now that this is incoming, I'm on a Medford. I've been watching Medford videos, and I definitely want a Praetorian. I would love to get that Viper, but I think that's old and cold. I don't think I think that's a secondary market purchase. And
I have a really good friend that is a Medford expert and fanatic. I bet you he can find you one.
Does he do videos on YouTube? Because there's a guy from Southern California who's a Medford fanatic.
Dirk Warning.
Oh yeah.
Check out. He's the guy to talk to. He's so cool, so nice. Him and I are actually kind of gonna start teaming up and swapping knives for reviews.
Oh, that's cool.
So I've been talking to Dirk almost daily for like months, and I've known Dirk for years, over like the Facebook groups and stuff like that. But when he started his channel, him and I like started actually getting more like in touch. And so him and I are teaming up as the small YouTube channels trying to grow, Oh
yeah.
So that's my YouTube channel buddy now.
And pooling your resources. I mean, you have an awesome collection. It seems from the two videos or the one video I've seen of his, he seems to have an awesome collection too.
So for people who are like small little EDC, like, compact carry, might not be the channel for you. Like, he has monsters. Like, he specializes in some really like crazy custom stuff. Now, I've been watching his channel religiously because you never know what's gonna come up on his channel. It's from Reese Whelan, like massive.
Yeah,
Oh my god, dude.
I was just thinking, does he have that Reese Whelan, the double switchblade? You know, that kind of.
Oh, dude, he's got all kinds of crazy stuff.
Damn.
And like really like rare stuff. So, and he's got like every Medford you can think of, the rarest ones. Medfords with like Damascus on them, which is like unheard of.
So what's the name of his channel?
It's just his name, Dirk Warning. It's DIRK space. I don't remember how to spell his last name. It's like WHE. Let me see if I can find him real quick. Dirk.
All right, no one's biting on this knife fight, so I'll have
Dirk.
you.
DIRK space WERI. Oh, sorry, WERNING. Dirk
Okay.
Warning. Check him out. Subscribe to his channels, guys. Alex Defend the Atom. Oh, that's funny. I thought everybody's going to say, oh, Alex gets the Medford. All right. I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Alex.
right.
Okay, I got the Atom.
Yep. I'll be a gentleman. I'll let you go first.
Oh, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in this fine establishment. As I speak in front of all of you gentlemen, I will clearly tell you that the Atom is superior to the Medford Praetorian. Is that what we're fighting against, the Praetorian?
Yeah.
Okay, the Praetorian. Now, as wonderful as the Praetorian is for breaking car doors open and plowing through pretty much anything you want to do, I think the thing that the Praetorian is better than the Atom at is going to be to throw at somebody's head because it's so damn heavy. So if you want a really true pocket EDC friendly knife, the TRM Atom can be about the identical size knife, but a fraction of the weight. Now, if you guys want to go ahead and spend, you know, $7, $8, $12, $2,000 on a brick, go right ahead. But if you want actually a nice slim carry knife with all the nice features such as titanium liners, titanium pocket clip, titanium thumb stud, 20 CV steel, and swappable scales without taking the knife apart, and clearly the Atom is going to be the right choice for you. It's going to be reliable and durable. It's lightweight. It doesn't get any better than that.
Okay, well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you found that enlightening. But you said it yourself. You said when you were describing the Praetorian, you said pretty much anything you want to do is what you said. Pretty much anything you want to do. That's how you describe the Praetorian. Those aren't my words. Those are your words, sir. Pretty
Except
much
for cut.
Well, that you didn't say, and it's my turn. So the Praetorian Guard, they were the Roman Emperor Guardians, I think, the Caesar's guards. That name lives up to the width and breadth of what this knife can take on. The Praetorian, it can cut. But it can do so much more. You know, you look at that hollow grind, and it gets very thin behind the edge, is what it looks like from the videos. And it seems like you could do quite a bit of cutting with it. However, you also have quite a bit of full flat of the blade there. It's lightened up with that fuller that helps you open it. But in essence, what you have is a go-to-war tool that you can use in peacetime. You know, you get locked out of your car, you have a way in. You get menaced by a thug, you have a way out. So I would have to say that the Medford Praetorian, if your life, you know, is something that you care about and value, the Praetorian is the knife you want to carry.
Oh, if your life is something you care about, that's great.
But if not, you know, maybe the Atom will suit you.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Big Boar.
Yes.
Well, anything else, Alex, before we wrap up tonight? Anything you'd like to say, declare, request?
Not really. I think we covered it all, man. I mean, it's a pretty complete episode right there.
All and so much more.
Oh,
there's
thanks,
Alex's. Hey, oh, by the way, the Grimsmo Norseman. Awesome.
Yes.
That was an awesome video. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that knife. And you know, for years, that was the knife that I used to talk so much about that knife, in not a good way, because of the way it looks. But then when I bought one, I get it. There's Dirk's channel, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim, for putting that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I think that is not the guy I was looking at, but there was another guy in Southern California that had an awesome collection.
Well, he's in Southern California too, actually. So, but yeah, he's it's easy for Bob. Bob demolishes me every time.
Well, that's because I get to pick what the fight is. I can control.
Yeah. I still think you'd win either way.
Well, I like the way you've begun to address the crowd like a barrister.
Yes. I figured that would give me some brownie points, you know?
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
Well, alrighty, sir. I think that about does it for this edition of Thursday Night Knives. I want to thank Alex Tissot of Alex's Knifebox on YouTube and on Instagram for joining me and co-hosting tonight. It's always a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine.
Oh, thank you. If you haven't yet, like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with friends, family, neighbors, etc. Those little actions make a big difference to us. Yes, that is. Thank you. Thank you. That was going to be my point. The Praetorian can cut the atom in half. You just need a mallet behind it. Thunk, thunk. In any case, for Alex Tissot and Jim working the magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying, don't take dull for an answer.